Welcome to Retire Smart Austin. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Philip Donato Capriati Sr. He is President and CEO of Donato Wealth Management, as well as Phil Capriati Jr., CCO and licensed fiduciary, Donato Wealth Management and Senior Tax Advisors. Gentlemen, how are you both today? I love having you both on the show.
We're blessed, and thank you for. We're glad to see you. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. You're, as far as I'm concerned, probably the best host I've ever had the pleasure to work with.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I don't say that lightly. I truly mean that.
Thank
so
you.
It's good that you're back from vacation, and we're happy to have you here.
Oh, well, every now and then everyone needs a little rest.
Absolutely.
But it's such a pleasure to be back with both of you, because the shows are always amazing, and the information that you provide to the viewing audience is just so spot on and so timely. So thank you both for always being amazing.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, many times when I have folks who come in, callers that come into the show, that call into the show, one of the very first questions is, are you going to work with my children and grandchildren? When are you going to retire?
Yeah.
And I tell them our practice is generational. It's a family practice. I have 5 children, and 3 of them actively work in our practice. So that's not only consoling, but it's nice. Folks like the fact that not only will I work with them, my children will work with them, but we'll also work with their children and grandchildren.
I love that. That gives them complete peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. Do you like working with Dad?
Absolutely. Yep. It's a pleasure.
Because it's been about 20 years now already, which that's amazing to me when I think about that.
It is. We have a lot of fun at the office.
Oh, what's the day like at the office with the two of you together? I mean,
normally,
you must have.
Normally it's Philip in his conference room, me in my conference room, seeing clients come in, out, the Gregory and our tax practice, Jerry and Dalila, and most of the time, I get a chance to say hello in the morning and goodbye in the evening, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, normally, because we're both seeing clients, and depending on the client's net worth and so forth, with the 10 complimentary visits that we offer, then that's why I've had people say, well, why can't you do more than 10? We can only afford to do 10 because that's all the time that we have. So this is why we ask folks, be early, call early, be one of the first 10 callers, and leave your checkbook at home, but you must come into the office and meet our staff. That's the only thing that we require. You have to have skin in the game. Of course, we're COVID friendly. So
sure.
So it's a lot of fun. It actually is a lot of fun. The days fly by.
Yeah.
A 10-hour day goes by what seems like maybe 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
It's really neat.
Well, because you have such a passion, both of you, for helping others. So when you're really interested and you're involved with your clients the way you are, I'm sure it just goes by so quickly. And you have so many people that come in probably just to stop in and say hello.
We have a lot of folks that come in and say hello. Well, now we're into tax season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the place is like Grand Central Station. It's fun. But we have it organized. So there aren't a whole lot of people in at one time. So we're real big on the social distancing and all of that good stuff. But we also have 12 different offices inside of our office, so or maybe that's 11. So we have, each person has their own individual office. So we're pretty spread out. It's kind of nice.
That is. That's wonderful. Well, Philip, we actually every week, as you know, we have all of these questions that come in, and we tackle a few of them as, timely questions, if you will. This one is so important that I want to tackle this one right out of the gate. This is a caller that called in. Her name is Samantha. She says, Philip, I would like to know what happened with Poland in September 2013 when they confiscated half of the assets of the pension plans to pay down national debt. Is this true? Can this happen in the U.S.?
Samantha, very sharp question. When we bring this very topic up, and other countries have done these things, one of our biggest concerns is the ever-increasing debt. So we have a couple issues that we're very concerned with. Number one, pension plans. As taxes go up and as debt goes up, taxes naturally go up. You're absolutely right. In 2013, they actually seized half of the pension plans to pay down Poland's debt. They got it wrong.
Wow.
They got it wrong. Now, to answer your question directly, anything is possible in today's day and age. It's all determined by our elected officials. If they vote a new law in, It can easily become initiated. Okay. One of the problems is how many folks actually have a pension. Not everyone.
That's
Years
so true.
ago, everyone had a pension and a 401k was additional savings. Now everyone has a 401k.
Yeah.
So I've had clients say to me, can they come in and seize my 401k because they never taxed it? Chances are that may be a little off center. But what we do believe that we can possibly see is means test taxing distributions from 401ks, IRAs, government taxable retirement accounts, because after all, they were gracious enough to allow us to save for our own retirement. We just had no idea that debt would be blowing up to 30 trillion and God knows what. So to answer your question, it's entirely possible. There's no law or amendment in the Constitution that prevents it.
Okay. Wow, that's incredible. So no law that prevents it.
So the next question should be, Samantha, what do I do to circumvent that possibility?
Exactly.
Okay. So what you want to do is you want to call our office immediately. Right now, be one of the first 10 callers. There are certain ways to unwind these, and we consider a 401k and a 403b a pension. It's a form of a pension. How do I unwind it? How do I buy my pension out? When I say buy my pension out, how do I pay the taxes now to circumvent potential tax increases in the future? They're talking about a lot of things in Congress, many things we're not privy to. We don't really see it regularly. We get it when we receive newsletters and so forth, like, and not to put a plug in, but we get a lot of newsletters, tax newsletters. As being an Ed Slott, excuse me, Master Lead IRA advisor, we're privy to information that helps us understand what are they talking about. Because normally when our elected officials talk about something, it's sooner than later ends up on the table and becoming law. We're concerned with increasing taxes.
Sure.
Hopefully we won't be Poland. Hopefully we learn something from them.
Yeah.
But to make a long story short, we see increased taxes affecting our retirement accounts. It's highly unlikely that taxes will go down.
Okay. Okay. Philip, this is the perfect time for us to go ahead and open up the phone lines to the viewers at home. Do you want to tell them what they can expect to receive by calling in?
If you call in and you're one of the first 10 callers, and I'm hearing it in my ear, we've already had 3 callers book appointments. We can only take the first 10 callers. It's completely complimentary. Leave your checkbook at home. If you have not filed for Social Security, we will structure a Social Security maximization report. Gregory in our office has been our Social Security counselor for well over 10 years. He's done thousands of them. The second thing that we're going to want to do is determine whether you have a potential tax problem. If you're one of these folks that have at least $500,000 or more in a retirement plan, and the majority of your retirement wealth is in a 401k, an IRA, or a 403b, we need to sit down and talk about what ifs. Okay, what if taxes go up on distributions? What if they means test tax my IRA distributions based on how much is in it? What happens? When will taxes probably go up? At what level of debt can we expect to see taxes go up based on the information from the Comptroller General? So the other thing we're going to want to do is make sure you don't have too much volatility in your portfolio. Many retirement plans are just ruined, like in 2008, where you're in the retirement red zone, is what I call it, within the last year to 1 to 5 years, and you see the market have a correction of 30%, 40%, 50%. We saw a little bit of that last February and March with the COVID scare, but folks are very concerned that a correction is on the horizon.
Sure.
And what do we have to do to prevent it? So we want to run a Morningstar report. It's complimentary. It's done by a certified investment analyst by our home office. It's over a $1,500 value. But more importantly, we want to sit down and talk about a plan. Okay? So let us educate you. Let us help you design your tax-efficient retirement income plan. The first 10 callers, I believe we have 7 spots left. Pick up the phone, dial 888-818-6557. That's 888-818-6557. Leave your checkbook at home. Come on in. Let's meet our friendly and knowledgeable staff.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, once again, the phone lines are now open with only 7 spots available. The number to call is 888-818-6557. We know you have a lot of questions about how to plan for your retirement. We have some great questions coming up and some answers that you're not going to want to miss. They're your questions. They're viewer questions. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back momentarily.
Thank you.
How confident are you in your current financial plan? Do you know with certainty how the recent market volatility will affect your future hopes and dreams? How much are you paying in taxes? And how much are you losing to unnecessary high fees? You didn't work to save this money so that you could spend your time worried in retirement. Now is the time to take charge of your finances so you can feel confident about your future. Call in during the next 30 minutes of today's show only to set up an absolutely complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review that will result in your own customized written plan. This is a $999 value that we're giving away complimentary to the first 10 people who respond. We'll start with a full-blown analysis of what you already have by running a report to untangle how much you are currently paying in fees, how you're allocated for risk, and what it's costing to work with your current advisor. Next, we'll identify your goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you want to go, and who do you hope to go there with? Is your current financial plan set up to get you there without mishap? Let's design a roadmap to create a financial plan you can follow with confidence. Get the piece that so many people are missing from their retirement. Find out how having a written plan can make a difference to your retirement dreams. Call now to schedule your complimentary, no obligation, full-blown financial review today.
Welcome back to Retire Smart Austin. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Philip Donato Capriati Sr. and Philip Capriati Jr. Senior, of course, is President and CEO of Donato Wealth Management. Junior is CCO and licensed fiduciary, both Donato Wealth Management and Senior TaxAdvisors. It's a lot for me to say.
It is a lot. It's good to be back.
Great to be back. So we have some more viewer questions, and Phil, I'm going to guide the first one to you if you don't mind. You have a caller. Her name is Donna. She would like to know, what do you do to help your clients reduce taxes in retirement?
Great question, Donna. Thank you so much for calling in and asking. You know, we put a lot of time and effort into the retirement plans that we put together for our clients because everybody's situation is so different. We really can't just say that there's one quick fix for everybody to just do, and it'll help your taxes, pay less taxes for the rest of your life. So that's why we provide these complimentary retirement income plans, the Morningstar reports, and the Social Security income plans as a way to give us a guide along with your other investments as to how we can rearrange your investments in such a way that we can reduce taxes over your retirement.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
So one of the biggest concerns most folks have is potential tax increases in the future.
Okay.
We've been told over and over again we should be thankful we have the lowest tax brackets that we've ever been in, and traditionally that's true. Back in World War I, tax rates for the top wage earners went up to over 90%. In World War II, they went up over 72%. Many folks will come in and they'll say, well, I know these taxes were higher. I mean, for 35 years or so, they were up over 60%. There's no way we could see those kind of tax increases. Isn't that right, Philip? And I say, no, that's not right. The tax rates will be whatever our elected officials tell us they will be, especially on government taxable retirement accounts.
Sure.
So we like to use Roth conversions. We like to use certain types of life insurance to structure tax-free retirement income. There are many different strategies we use, especially many of our clients come in and they'll say, I want to help my children start a tax-free retirement. when's the best time to do it? And the best time to do it is when they're born, okay?
Right.
Within, honestly, as soon as they get into, believe it or not, high school, we want to get our children used to saving, but we want them to be cognizant of taxes going up and where the burden's going to lie. So a tax efficient, or I like to look at tax-free retirement plan is a must, at least a tax-efficient retirement plan.
Okay, thank you, Philip. This actually is a great segue into Joe's question. Joe wants to know, what is the best tax rate to be in at retirement?
0.
Awesome.
So here's the thing, and I have a passion with this, being a bean counter and a tax guy and a licensed fiduciary. My concern, and when we talk with clients, many of us baby boomers, we've worked hard for the last 40, 50 years. We've paid taxes for decades. We've raised our children. The thought that taxes can double for us after paying taxes in 50 years, 40 years, 60 years, I think is unconscionable, my personal opinion. I believe there should be a tax cutoff age, personally. I think if you started working at 16 and started paying taxes, by the time you're 65, 70, everyone should be in a 0% tax bracket if you've been a taxpayer. So that's my feeling. Now, many of our folks, our clients who are very wealthy, are in a 0% or close to that tax bracket. I liked the 10, 12% bracket, the lowest bracket. 0 is the best, but the lowest bracket. One of the concerns and one of the problems that we have is because of these required minimum distributions, when folks get into their late 70s and 80s, what happens is their tax bracket literally doubles and sometimes triples because of the value of their IRA and because of the increasing value of the RMD. At the death of the first spouse, you go from married filing joint, where as married filing joint, you jump into the now 22% tax bracket, somewhere over $115,000 a year. Well, at death of first spouse, the surviving spouse now jumps into that 22% tax bracket at $55,000. Your tax bracket doubles.
Wow.
So we'll have folks come in and say, well, my advisor, my accountant never told me this, that when my husband died, I was going to have to take his $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, $150,000 RMD, and I was going to go from married filing joint to filing single. So the service that we offer our clients is that of education. We need to educate them on the pending potential tax increases and the reasons why. We don't want to be Poland. We need to be proactive, and we really need to exercise tax-efficient strategies. If your current advisor is not advising you on tax-efficient strategies, or they circumvent or sidestep that, it's time to get a second opinion. Be one of the first. I think we have 5 spots left.
Only 5.
Be one of the first 5 callers. Call today. Come in for a tax-efficient retirement income plan and a Morningstar executive summary and portfolio review. It's complimentary for those of you who are willing to pick up the phone and dial 888-818-6557. What's that phone number, Phil?
888-818-6557.
We look forward to visiting with you in the office. Thank you, Cynthia.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, the gentleman said it best. The phone lines are now open, 888-818-6557. 5 spots available. We'll be right back after this very short commercial break with more of your questions, the viewer questions. So don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss the answers.
Do you know what that sound is? It's me traveling the world, Europe to Asia. I'm vacationing and living the retirement of my dreams because I just met with a local trusted advisor. They helped me turn my nest egg into a golden egg.
Hello folks, it's Phil Capriati from Retire Smart Austin. We help folks turn their nest egg into a tax-efficient retirement income plan. Call today. It's complimentary. Hello folks, it's Phil Capriati from Retire Smart Austin. If you're getting ready to retire or have recently retired, make sure you tune into our show between 9 and 9:30 on Sunday morning. We will teach you how to structure a tax-efficient retirement income plan.
And welcome back to Retire Smart Austin. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Philip Donato Capriati Sr. and Phil Capriati Jr. President and CEO is Senior, and CCO and Licensed Fiduciary is Junior of Donato Wealth Management and Senior Tax Advisors. Gentlemen, a great show that we're having, and these viewer questions are really, really amazing, and they get more in depth each week.
Each week they're more and more intelligent, and it's kind of really neat. We've been having a lot of physicians call, a lot of attorneys call. We've had CPAs coming in wanting these consultations, and we're more than happy to provide them. We really enjoy what we do, and it's invaluable.
Absolutely, and it shows. Again, we talked about this in the beginning of the show, but you have such a passion for helping others, and it comes through loud and clear. Phil, I have a viewer question for you, and this is a great question. She wants to know what your opinion is in regards to bonds, and then do they belong in everyone's portfolio?
Well, there's certainly a place for bonds and portfolios, absolutely. I think, bonds do carry risk that a lot of people aren't aware of. Interest rate risk, default risk, these types of things. So we need to monitor what we have in our portfolios constantly.
Okay.
So what we do at our firm that may be different than other firms is we actively manage the portfolios.
Okay, versus passive. So you're tactically involved versus passive. Okay.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And Phil, would you say, just kind of tying in, if you will, on the bonds, obviously that kind of teeters with the interest rates because the bond value goes down, correct, if the interest rate rises?
It does, and what we're primarily concerned with, so with respect to bonds, every 1% increase, in interest rates is a potential 6% decrease in bond or bond ETF values.
Okay.
Especially if we're looking at a 20-year T or any other bonds, even investment grade bonds. It's called interest rate risks. Now, the perfect storm is when interest rates go up, taxes go up, and equities drop. So now you have increasing interest rates. Let's say interest rates go up 1.5%.
Okay.
That's a potential 9 to 10% decrease in your bond values. And let's say the market drops 20, 25, 30, or in 2008, 50%. I'm just using round numbers, okay? Now bonds are no longer safe. So not only are your equities dropping, but interest rates are raising, taxes are going up. If your portfolio is not being actively and tactically managed by your investment advisor, if you have one of these old school advisors, 60% stock, 40% bond, or based on what your risk tolerance questionnaire is, warning, danger, because the potential. One of the disadvantages of having the majority of our retirement accounts in bonds and stocks is uncertainty. Volatility in both the bond market, as my son Philip said, bonds default, interest rate risk, and what happens when stocks go down, taxes go up, and interest rates go up. It's the perfect storm.
Yep.
The disadvantage is if you're in retirement and you're taking distributions as part of your retirement income plan, and we see a 1.5, 1 year, 2 year correction, you may never recover from that if that portfolio is not actively managed. So call for our Morningstar report. You're going to want to understand this. We'll take a look at interest rate risk. How many bonds or how much bonds is too much? Okay, and it depends on every individual person's what their wants and needs are, what their goals are. So we'll run a Morningstar report. Let's find out how much risk you have in your portfolio, how much is your potential drawdown, how much potential interest rate risk if you have a heavy bond portfolio or even a moderate bond portfolio, and let's also put together complimentary and executive summary. These would be recommendations to correct situations in your portfolio that you may not be aware of. Let's sit down, let's talk about it, and let's educate ourselves, because knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Okay, and without the right knowledge, we're kind of, I hate to use the term, but we're sitting ducks. Nothing against ducks, right? I love ducks. But fact of the matter is, we really need to be cognizant of how much volatility we have, both in our portfolio and even if bonds are a high percentage of it.
Absolutely. And Philip, we have time probably for one more question. You have a caller from Marble Falls. She would like to know, what is your opinion on annuities, and why do some have a negative stereotype?
Ugh, okay. So annuities, many advisors look at fixed annuities, fixed indexed annuities, as an alternative to bonds. It's not. It's an insurance product. But many of them are funded by bonds, okay? Mainly investment grade bonds, treasuries, and things of that nature. There are so many different types of annuities. And again, one of the biggest issues we see are with variable annuities. And when I say that, many times the person doesn't realize, or their concern is, the internal fees on many of these products sometimes range in excess of 3% a year. Plus they have market volatility. So when we recommend an annuity as part of our fiduciary responsibility to limit volatility, we want to look at fixed indexed annuities. We want an annuity product, if a client likes this, that has a guarantee return of a minimum floor, not negative, but 1% or 0 to 1%, with no cap on the return. If the index does well, we want the client to do well. We also want the earnings, or the interest earnings, to be locked in yearly, or at the very most every 2 years. In other words, once I earn that money, if the market drops 20, 30, 40%, do I lose anything in the annuity? No. So in a variable annuity, it's variable, it goes up and down. Many folks don't realize it, and I believe that that's some of the negative conversations about annuities is many folks come into our office, they think all annuities are bad because that's what we have been programmed to think.
Yeah, there was a commercial that stated as such, and I kind of caught on.
It's a time and a place, right?
Yeah.
So we can look at it. If you have an annuity in your portfolio or multiple annuities, we can also run a Morningstar report on those products. We need to know what the internal fees are, what's your maximum drawdown, and it may have been appropriate for you 10 years ago or 5 years ago, but as you're approaching retirement, it may not be the right investment vehicle to have as part of your retirement income plan.
Sure. Philip, about 30 seconds left. I think there's 2 spots still open this week. Do you want to tell them what they can expect to receive by being one of your 2
Call right
callers?
now. Pick up the phone. Leave your checkbook at home. Dial 888-818-6557. Call up and ask for your complimentary portfolio review. We want to do a comprehensive Morningstar report and executive summary. This is all complimentary. Just pick up the phone and come into the office and meet our friendly and knowledgeable staff. God bless you all. We'll see you in the office.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Cynthia.
Yep.